look at you funny if you don't compete for $1 and a dream. Have you ever wanted something so bad?
What's going on, wonderful, beautiful, creative people? I hope you are well today. Welcome back to Music.Money.Mind, brought to you by theendlessiam.com, where you can find some resources on how to become more creative, how to make more money with your creativity if you so desire to, or just some thoughts on mental health and, how to find some more joy in your life. Anyways, today we are going to talk about taking your creative business to the next level, really taking that leap and really deciding, is that something that you actually want to do? I think it's very appropriate given this past year of chaos, and it's really caused a lot of people to evaluate, their job security, their safety in terms of finances. When something like this happens, you're kind of dependent on your job or your employer. So even outside of creative people, a lot of people have been wanting to start their own business for that reason. So if you're a creative person, this is really something that you should put a lot of thought into. So first and most importantly, do you actually really want to take your creativity full time? Do you want to turn it into a business? Do you want this to be something that you spend a lot of time on, or do you just enjoy doing this thing and you're totally fine with it being a hobby? That's an important question to ask. And I want to say first off, you should not feel any shame around just saying, I enjoy doing this when I can, when I have time, it's fun, and I really don't have a desire to make it into a business. There is no shame in that. I think as a society, we've come to this point where we make people feel like if they're not making money doing something, or they're not really crushing it, in terms of sales, in terms of fans, in terms of what they think success is, then there's some shame around that. Well, you don't believe in yourself. Well, maybe some people just want to enjoy the thing on the weekends. You shouldn't feel bad if the answer to that question is no. So really think about it, because a lot goes into making your creativity into a business, and not every part of it's fun. Some of it's a little ugly, a little dirty, takes a lot of effort, takes a lot of time. So if this is something that you just want to keep for fun, make sure you make that distinction. If that's the case, just keep doing what you're doing and enjoy it. If you really do have the desire to take your creative talent, whatever it may be, music, art, crafting, making jewelry, anything that's creative that you want to make into a business, then we got a lot to talk about. So if you've decided that this is something that you want to do, first and foremost after that, I guess second foremost, I should have found a better way to put that. Anyways, you have to evaluate where you are, talent-wise and skill-wise, right? It's great if you have natural talent in this. You probably do if it's something that you're actually thinking about taking to the next level. Chances are you probably have some natural talent already within this. So you need to evaluate, though, where you are. You need to do an honest self-evaluation. This is tricky because a lot of us are either totally, overly confident in maybe where our talent level is, or we're the complete opposite. We're very insecure about it. We don't give ourselves enough credit. So it can be good to maybe ask a couple people around you. If you don't have evidence already of like a lot of people telling you, hey, you're really good at this, I think that you could, make money doing this, or I would buy your music, I would buy your photos. If you don't have a lot of people who are wanting to hire you or telling you that they really believe in what you're doing, then maybe it would be good to take just a few people that some friends, some colleagues, other people in that industry that that you trust, family members, get a variety of people and talk to them and say, where do you honestly think that I'm at in terms of, comparing me to, and I know we don't like to compare ourselves, but in this case, it's a good thing. How would you stack me up against other people in this field, right? So if you're a photographer, let's say, how would you stack up my pictures that I take with the other people out there right now? And some people may not be honest with you. Some people want to sugarcoat it. That's why you don't want to talk to people like for me, like a lot of my family members, I know they'll be like, duh, you're doing a great job. You can do whatever you believe in and, whatever you put your heart into, you can do it, which is awesome. But when you need that honest feedback, definitely find somebody that will be truthful with you. So get a little bit of feedback from other people. Evaluate where your skills are at this moment. If you feel super confident, if you've been singing, dancing, acting, doing photography, drawing, painting, whatever for years and years, and you've had a lot of lessons, you've had a lot of practice, you put in the work, then obviously you're at a higher starting point. But be honest with yourself. If you are very new to what you're doing, whether you just recently got inspired to start doing something, you found a new passion and talent, or maybe you've been doing it for a little while, you've always wanted to do this thing, but you're not necessarily confident that you can go out and crush it just yet. If that's the case, what I would suggest when you're looking at getting into a business like that, I'll tell you from my own experience, when I first started trying to find ways to make money off of singing, instead of just focusing on the 9 to 5 and just singing for free, I would look on Craigslist. As unsafe as Craigslist can be, you got to be careful. I would look on Craigslist for any opportunities revolving around singers, right? Demo singer needed, $50 to come in for 2 hours. So basically $25 an hour. Not horrible. Definitely charge a lot more now, but in the beginning, I knew I could sing. I knew people believed in my talent. I knew that I had something. I had a voice, but I hadn't had so much experience. So I would go into studios and I would get paid $50 for 2 hours. And it was a great experience. I was so new. I didn't totally suck. I wasn't awful, but I definitely was terrified. I definitely was nervous. I definitely had a harder time catching on to things quickly, melodies, harmonies, staying in the right key. I didn't even know how to find the key of a song. So find a starting point for yourself is the first step that I would say. So once you have kind of determined where you're at skill and talent-wise, the first step towards really laying out a foundation of making this your full-time business is figuring out what things you actually really, really, really love to do and that you're willing to put time, energy, effort into to make money with your talent. So, for example, if you're a photographer, let's say, and you really don't like going to weddings. You hate doing weddings. You really, really don't want to do that. Don't make yourself do that. Don't put yourself through that because you're not going to show up emotionally, mentally. You're going to get burnt out really quickly and you're not going to put in the work that you would doing something that you really loved. Obviously, in the beginning, you're going to have to do some stuff that isn't your highest calling. It's not like you're going to be, doing photographs for Vogue like in the very beginning. Same with the musician, right? I'll tell you from my experience, I never wanted to go the cover band route. I never wanted to go do cover songs on YouTube and just try to build up my following like that. I never had a desire to jump in with a cover band and do tributes or whatever. It just didn't sound fun to me. So I didn't go that route because had I gone that route, I would have burnt out. And other people will say, well, you're doing what you love. You're singing, right? So shouldn't you be happy? Well, I went and sang at churches for a while in the very beginning on Sundays just to make some extra money. And I hated it. Not that I didn't enjoy like the camaraderie, and it's nothing against singing at churches. It's just, it wasn't really what I was that interested in doing. So yes, I was getting to sing and I love to sing, but it just wasn't something that I really, really enjoyed. So long story short, find something that you really enjoy. So look up, whatever your craft is, look up ways to make money doing that. Write out a list of different methods, different forms of income, whether it's like passive income, if you want to put up a store and sell some things, if you make things, Etsy, whatever, or if you're a musician, look at the different routes. I can do the cover band thing, right? And go do shows at bars and make money singing top 40 songs or doing Pink Floyd tribute or something, depending on the type of music you do. Or I can make beats for someone, or I can go the sync licensing route as an artist and try to get songs in commercials and TV and do that. Or, you can go on sites like Guru and Upwork, Thumbtack, and try to just really focus on freelance work. Find the things that you enjoy. Maybe it's jingles, maybe it's, songwriting for other artists. Whatever really strikes your interest, make a list. You need to know what things that you're willing to do. Okay, so side note on what we just talked about. If you have already made your list of different possibilities and ways to make money using your talent, please understand that there are so many other creative ways, maybe even ways that you create yourself that no one else has done, that are going to come up. And that's amazing. That's the ultimate blessing. When you start creating different methods or different ways to, find success, gain fans, gain followers, gain customers, make money, the creative stuff is the best. So please be open. That's like kind of the 1A of this. Step 1A is stay open to different possibilities and don't close your mind to things that might be a little weird, a little different, and that no one else is doing because, just because no one else is doing it doesn't mean that it can't work for you. So stay open. That's a big one. Step 2, I think you really need to understand, if you haven't already, what your why is. Why do you want to take your creative talent to the next level? Why do you want to make this into a business or into your full-time career? You have to know what that answer is. And it can take some time. You should be patient with yourself and you don't have to rush and figure that out right now. But I would take some time to actually write down the question, why do I want this? Because what happens is when we have a dream, when we have a vision, we have something that you really want, when stuff starts getting rough, when that motivation or that kind of honeymoon phase wears off and you're like, okay, now I'm really tired. Now I'm stressed at work. I'm stressed with my kids, with my husband, with my wife. My health is going through some issues, or I'm not seeing any success in this business that I created yet. When things get tough, if you don't have a why, like I said, that motivation, which is why I don't really believe in motivation, it's going to fall off. How many times somebody make a New Year's resolution in January, and by March, if you look at the research, done. We're not even talking about it no more. What happened to that gym membership that you got? Oh, I haven't been in 3 months. Because that excitement, that motivation, it wears off, you guys. You have to have a why. So I did this for myself, and you can go as deep as you want with this, but I evaluated what is it about, that kind of extreme vision of not just being a music artist that can, do music for a living, but I want to be someday, whether I don't care if I'm 40, 50, 60 when this happens, I want to have the level of impact that Michael Jackson had. And I know that's a very bold statement to have. Please believe I'm not comparing myself to Michael Jackson or thinking that I'm anywhere near his level. Not what I'm trying to say at all. But the vision of how he affected people with his music, watching the connection he had with his fans, how he commanded an audience, commanded a room of thousands of people, not in the narcissistic way of everyone loves me and I'm the star, though there's nothing wrong with wanting to be famous, but in the way of connecting with people on that level and making them feel something with your voice, with music. The way that he was able to do that and the creativity that he had, this product he was able to bring to people to entertain them. Oh my God, man, it's so massive and it's so cool. So why do I want that level? Why do I want to be there? Again, I want to connect with people. I love connecting with people. I want to make people feel the way that music makes me feel. When I hear a certain song and it just hits me, songs have gotten me through depression. Songs have gotten me through breakups, through good times, through bad times, through so much. Music really heals people. And so I want to have that opportunity to share that with people, to try to hopefully inspire them and make them feel something, make them feel good. I also want to have the financial aspect to be able to, yes, of course, live a free life where I can go wherever I want, whenever I want, where I can have nice things, nothing wrong with that, but also because I want to take care of my entire family, pay for my brother's college, right? Put thousands of dollars in a fund for my nieces and nephews. Like, you guys are good. You don't ever have to worry about anything. I want to buy my parents' houses. I want to, be able to donate to causes that I care about. I want to be able to make an impact in a lot of ways. And then lastly, just the idea of being able to constantly create and make music for the rest of my life and never have to worry about having a job, never have to worry about doing anything that doesn't serve me, right? Those are my reasons. Those are my whys. I have multiple whys. Connecting with people, wanting to inspire, wanting to free people, also wanting to make people feel like they can be themselves. Not because I'm just so amazing and look at me. No. Because I'm saying, hey, I have flaws, I have this, I have that, but I'm going to be free no matter what. You deserve to be that way too. You deserve to take your creative talent and say, fuck the world, I'm going to do whatever the hell I want, and I'm going to go for this dream. I want to free people. Anyways, I talked way too much about myself. It's when I wear pink, y'all. If you can't see me right now, it's because I'm wearing pink. And for some reason, when I wear pink, I just start like acting wild. I don't know. Anyways, moving on. So if you found your why, you have a reason for why you want to do what it is you want to do, then next is to lay out an actual rough plan. Now, when it comes to goal setting, it's such a weird topic because as a kid, I was the ultimate creative, free spirit, like unorganized, messy, just flow all the time, like no structure. And I loved being that way. However, after high school, as I became an adult, and I looked back on how many classes I failed, how I barely graduated, not that school mattered to me, because I knew what I wanted to do with my life, but the fact that I went through so much struggle and unnecessary, issues with school and other areas of my life because of being unorganized, because of having no structure, that I craved structure after that. I started kind of adopting a couple, actually quite a few habits of A-type people who are 9-to-5ers, who are logic, who are structures. I shouldn't say 9-to-5ers, that actually has nothing to do with it. People who are logic, straightforward, structured, people like my dad. He's you would think he was in the military. He's a very straightforward guy, goes to work, comes home, makes sure he works out every single day, eats good, spends time with his family. Like everything is on a schedule. When he mows the yard, what day he does this, what day he cooks this food. Like, he's kind of like the extreme level of organized and logical and structured. So as I got older, I realized I do need a little bit of structure and routine in my life. So anyways, I only bring that up because I think when it comes to goal setting, sometimes we obsess over the process and all the action steps. This is going to be a rough outline, and it's going to change a lot. Right? Your plan is going to change. It's going to evolve because your talent and your desire will evolve. You're going to get more creative and more inspired to new things. So look at this guideline as just a guideline, just a rough sketch. So let's set the guidelines. First off, where is it that you really want to go with this? What is your idea of success with this business? As detailed as you possibly can. I am going to be an award-winning photographer. I'm going to be an artist that's commissioned to paint all over the world in museums, or I'm going to be a Grammy-winning artist, producer. My band is going to be #1 on the Billboard charts, whatever. Write down all of the things that are the long-term goal. Map out, I would say, the next year. Just the next year, a rough sketch of what things do I want to do to go from 0 to 100. So if you're starting from scratch and you're not making any money with your talent yet, okay, what does the first month look like for you? Do it slowly, okay? A lot of us overestimate what we can do in 1 month. I think it's great to have high goals and to reach for the stars, but I would rather start small, bite-sized goals every single month, and then if you're crushing that goal, add something else in halfway, right? Okay, cool, I did this, done, I'm killing it, so let me add something else in. So for example, first month goal might be just simply establishing what things that I am really comfortable doing to make money using my gift, right? Or what methods feel good to me right now. Do I feel like I want to put up an Etsy store? Do I feel like I want to just sell physical products, go to trade shows? Do I feel like I want to join a cover band or whatever? Even if you just do that for the first month, take some time to figure that out. That's your first month goal. Maybe your second month goal is set up your store, write 5 songs, book your first show, even if, you're not really crushing it yet, you don't really have an audience. Like, make a goal for each month that is small and bite-sized and realistic enough for you to achieve. From 1 month all the way to 12 months. If you map out a goal every single month, then it keeps you on track. It keeps you working towards it. And a lot of times, we're going to fail. We're going to have months where we don't accomplish what we set up to accomplish that month. But many times you look back, let's say 6 months in, and you feel like I haven't done anything. I haven't made any progress. And you look back at the goals you've actually accomplished and realize how much you've done in half a year or in a year. So it's good to keep you on track. Lay out your plan, right? Figure out what it is that is going to get you to where you want to go. By the way, for detailed specifics and kind of help and guidance on if you are a musician, if you're in the songwriting or music world, to figure out what are all of the actual options and different ways that you can go about it. I'm going to be starting a Patreon soon, and I'm going to go into detail about every single way, every idea that I've ever used that's worked for me, that's worked for people around me. I've written a blog about it, but I'm going to go in depth and talk about the people you can actually contact and reach out to, the companies you can work with, all the different ways of making money through music. I'm going to go into detail with soon on Patreon. So reach out to me, shoot me an email if you want to get the link to the Patreon when I get it. Anyways, getting back to business here. Okay, so we've laid out your 12-month plan. Once you've done that, remember these are baby steps. You're crawling, right? Till you walk, till you jog, till you run, till you sprint, okay? So small little steps that will help you start moving towards building this up full time, okay? Be patient with yourself, all right? Before we talk about the last step, I just wanted to say that when it comes to setting goals or to starting something new, it can be either amazing to tell everyone around you what you're doing, or it can be really detrimental. This depends on your surroundings. If you're someone that has a lot of pretty supportive people around you, your family, your friends, people that work with you, great. Tell everyone what you're going to start doing. Tell them your rough plan. You don't have to go in detail, but you can kind of say, hey, I'm planning on starting this, and these are kind of my plans on moving forward, and I'm going to do this and I'm going to crush it. It may take me a year. It may take me 10 years, but this is what I'm going to do. And tell them, tell them everything about it. But if you don't have a support system around you like that, if you don't have a lot of loving, supportive people around you, don't tell them. Keep it to your damn self, because the worst thing you can do, and why a lot of people really quit early on, is because they'll tell everybody about it. They're so excited. They're so passionate, and they get shot down by so many people. Getting shot down by a hater on the internet is like, whatever, fuck you. But getting shot down by an auntie, an uncle, a mom, a spouse, a brother, a sister, your best friend, your coworkers, your boyfriend, your husband, your wife, whatever, that is so painful, and it cuts you deep, and you care more about what they think than a stranger, right? So if you know that the people around you are not extremely supportive, don't tell them, because it's not going to do anything good for you. All they're going to do is bring negativity to you, and that's not burying your head in the sand. That's not being like, oh, I don't want any criticism. No. It's not that you're afraid of criticism or confrontation. It's just that it's unnecessary to have people shitting on your dream who aren't the ones that are actually going to be doing the work. They're not the ones that actually have anything to do with your success. So it's not their business, okay? So just had to put that out there. Don't worry about talking to other people about what you're doing. Trust me, they'll start getting interested. Hey, what are you up to? You seem really busy. You seem like you're really focused on something. Oh, I have some ideas I'm throwing around, some things I'm working on, Not a big deal right now, nothing crazy. That's what I tell people when I'm around unsupportive people who I know are just going to talk shit or ask me what my plan is if I'm going to go back to school and get a degree if this doesn't work out, kind of shit like that. So I just say, I'm just working on a couple ideas right now, just messing around with some stuff. You don't owe them anything. It's not their business. You don't need to go into detail about what you're doing. Fuck it. All right, so we're moving on now, getting to the most important part. I don't know why I'm talking like this. The most important part in taking your creativity to actually full-time, like business, this is your life. The most important part is to actually have a financial cushion. Okay, I don't mean you need to have $50,000 to start your business. I mean, depending on what you do, you may need like a lot of money saved up. But for most creative careers, you don't need a lot of capital. You don't need to have thousands and thousands of dollars saved up. But I will tell you exactly how I failed. Let me tell you how I failed to go full time. I tried going full time twice before now. Before this current year that we're in now, where I am completely full-time and comfortable and steady, I tried going full-time in music 2 times, okay? Both times this is what happened. Got really excited because I was getting a lot of gigs, right? Doing songwriting, doing demo vocals, and I was starting to make some money, okay? So seeing the money coming in, seeing that I was getting those opportunities, I'm like, well, fuck my job. I don't need my job no more. I'm good. You know, I got enough clients. Not actually making a real plan and documenting how many clients do I have? How much am I making per month from each client? How often are these clients hiring me, right? Throughout a 6-month span. Not like we're very quick to see 1 or 2 months of lots of income coming in and we're like, cool, I'm full-time, I got it. Give it 6 months at least. See what the trend is. Keep it logged, keep data, and I am not a math person, okay? I'm not an accountant, so it doesn't have to be complicated. Just keep a look of how much you're actually making per month, right? Like you would when you're looking for an apartment or house, you got to see how much money you make. Do you qualify, right? Look at how much money you're actually making. Look at how often these people are hiring you. How consistent is it? Are you making $2,000 one month and then $1,000 next month? That's not very consistent, right? And that's okay. That's totally fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But you have to know, because I did not do that. I also did not have savings at all because I was young and dumb. Did not have anything in my savings, only had whatever was from, paycheck to paycheck from my current job. See, I'm so passionate about this. I'm like fucking around with the cords. I almost knocked over my headphones. Okay, so no savings, right? So I'm jumping into, I'm going to quit my job and go full time with no savings and no actual data. So obviously, as you can imagine, it was great for the first couple months. I was home working on music every day. I was so happy, so excited. I was just in the zone. It was like one of the happiest times of my life. Waking up in the morning, whatever time I wanted, drinking my coffee, sitting down and writing on my laptop. Oh my God. Well, after a couple months, probably after about 5 months, complete crash and burn, right? Because I didn't realize that there wasn't enough consistency yet. I didn't have enough clients yet to sustain me for longer than a couple months. Some of the work was seasonal. Some of the work was temporary, right? They hire me for a couple months out of the year, and then they don't really have a lot of projects the rest of the year. Well, I didn't wait long enough to see that trend, and I didn't keep track. So very quickly went broke, very quickly crashed and burned, got, pay or quit notices, had to move out. Otherwise, I would have got evicted from 2 different places, 2 different apartments. Total debt, I'm not talking $100,000 in debt, but probably at least $10,000 in debt from loans, from defaulting on credit cards, all kinds of shit. Don't do what I did. I'm here to tell you what not to do, okay? Don't jump in full-time in your creative career or business without having a savings. And how much do you actually need? Well, number one, just financial basics, right? Let's take the business part out of it. If you do not have $1,000 saved up that is completely disposable, you don't need it for your bills, you don't need it for your food, in a savings account, separate from your checking account. If you don't have $1,000 saved up, you're not financially in the right place. No judgment, because I was there my entire life until like maybe a year ago. Okay? That means that if an emergency happens, right? Even if it only costs a couple $100, you don't have $1,000 for a car breakdown, for, God forbid, a hospital visit. Something that is big that happens. It happens. We all know, we've all been there. So now you're taking out of your paycheck, you're taking out of what you need for groceries, for everything else every month. And that's going to this emergency, right? So you need to at least bare minimum have that. Now, that's just for life in general. But for jumping into your business, I would say personally, where I would feel comfortable is at least 3 months of what you would need on a monthly basis to survive, saved up. So if that's $3,000 a month, then you need $9,000, right? I would highly recommend that. Now, depending on what you're doing for a creative career, the amount that you need to start up is going to vary. Not everybody necessarily needs a fancy website. Not everybody necessarily needs a bunch of equipment. You need to make a list of all the things that you really need to launch your business. So if it is physical equipment like a microphone, like a laptop, all this, make a list of all those things. Make a list of monthly subscriptions you might need. Maybe you need Canva. Maybe you need accounting software. Maybe you need editing software, right? Like Final Cut Pro. I don't know that they have a membership, but anything that's going to require money on a monthly basis, on a yearly basis, you need to make a list of these things, right? Because otherwise what happens is we drain our finances trying to pay for stuff. I did it through paying for music videos, photo shoots. Before I started making my own beats, I would pay producers to make beats and mix and master my songs. So I was spending thousands of dollars because I was so excited and I just wanted to go, not realizing that I didn't save any of this money up. So now it's coming out of my paycheck from my job every 2 weeks, right? So you really need to evaluate what it's going to take financially for you to do this and be realistic about it. That doesn't mean you can't start making steps. You can't start doing what you love without having, thousands of dollars saved up, but you need to be aware of what you need and start working towards that before you make the leap and quit your job. Common sense, but I was fucking dumb enough to not understand that. Some resources on this. I'm actually going to post a blog too about just some financial ideas and resources. Why would I be talking about that? I'm not a financial advisor. Well, when I got into the life insurance business a couple years ago, I started really, really learning about money, how it works, how to save, how to invest, how to plan. So I have, by doing all the wrong things, learned what some of the basic right things are. So I'm not going to talk about cryptocurrency or the hottest stock or any kind of shit like that. Just the basics of saving, budgeting, investing, and growing. That's it. So I'm going to post some of those resources soon, just so you know. But overall, just make sure that you know what it takes to do what you want to do, and you know what it takes to quit your job or fire your boss, as I like to say. All right, so let's recap really quick. Number one, we need to decide whether this is something that we actually really want to do or if it's just something we want to, do for fun, right? Make sure you decide if this is actually something you want to make into a business. Number two, find your why. Find why you want to make this into a business. Why is this so important to you? Why do you want this to happen, right? Discover that. And then lastly, what we talked about was actually making both your 12-month plan of steps you're going to make every month to move towards this goal, and then also your financial plan, your financial budget. How much do you need every month? How much do you need to get started? So if you got all that laid out, then you can go ahead and jump right into it. In terms of further growing your business, we'll talk about that in another podcast, but this is just kind of how to take that leap, how to do it responsibly, how to do it not like I did. This time around, I will tell you in closing, to close this out here today, this time around, what was different is I saved up my money, right? I went back to working 9 to 5. I swallowed my pride. I moved back in with my family. No shame, whatever. People want to make fun of me. I don't give a fuck, right? Doesn't matter. I moved back in so I could be responsible, get out of debt, which I did. I'm debt free as of today, actually. And so I did that. I saved up money. I made sure I had a good cushion. I took care of a lot of things. I invested in equipment. I invested in all of the different things that I would need to be able to consistently make money, invested in my website, all of that. So now I have enough clients. I've made the plan. I've looked at what do I need every month. I looked at 6 months of vocal work and seeing how much I was actually making. And I realized I needed to add more clients. So I got more. Now I have enough that they rotate every month. These 5 over here really need a bunch of songs done for these 3 months. Okay, but now they're done. But these other 5 over here that I have, now they need work. So it's rotating, it's in a flow, and it's in a balance now. So if you really put the plan into effect, it will work for you. Don't take any shortcuts. Don't rush. I did that and I fell flat on my face. Okay. I hope this was helpful, you guys, today. I know it was a little bit less exciting, it may not have been as much of a fun intellectual conversation as I usually like, but not that I think I'm an intellectual. But anyways, I hope you guys got something out of it. I would love to hear your thoughts. Please share with me, share your ideas, your experiences. And hey, I love you guys. Have a fan-fucking-tastic day. Peace.